Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 3, recapping the Elite, the go home show for All Out pay per view that happens in about, if you're watching this, 24 hours. It was a go home show. I still say Rampage is a show to watch just for the commentary of Mark Henry. What'd you think of this week's episodes before we go into it?
I think it was definitely a go home show coming from the wrong state. They obviously were at Chicago compared to their Florida actual home. But I think it was okay. I think it was better than the past 2 weeks. So that means it's the best one out of our podcasting of recapping the Elite. But I did not. I just think we are like you. I think we were probably are their kryptonite because I never thought we were going to get the storyline of QT Marshall when we decided to start podcasting. But yes,
QT Marshall, who, by the way, has a beautiful beard like me. I wear bowling shirts. So I make it a point every Wednesday to wear a bowling shirt. I actually have a couple just like QT. I think it's just coincidence. I didn't buy them because of him, but I love QT Marshall. Love the faces. Love the mannerisms. Love the interviews. I could kind of do without the ring work. I think he's more of a manager, but I am a QT Marshall guy. I have no shame in admitting that.
I think I need to see more him in this heel turn. I remember seeing him obviously when they first got it and he was doing the Apple shit with Cody, and then but like last night I'm like, okay, that's cool. You trying to be a heel, but like there's like 15 guys in there helping you. I'm like, I don't know how are you shining in this little moment, but yeah.
Well, they all look like shit. Even the I always forget his name, the hairy fucker that looks like Chewbacca. And they make him out in the beginning like he's a monster, he's a killer. He runs from the big slow. He gets thrown around. I mean, gold dust or blue dust, whatever, Dustin. He beats his ass. Then the one guy who I fucking hated, I think that's a go-go. The one that he was like the new Ronnie Garvin, where he would just go and he'd hook you and you were dead. That's all he would do, just boom. And he's got hurt or something. We haven't seen him in a while. Good, but QT has been saddled with a terrible gang, if you ask me.
There's a lot of it goes into like there's a lot of people taking the payroll for other people at this moment in time. So I don't know.
Yeah, I just think it's funny. Like over there is they have so many people that like you have some that can do both. You have a lot that can do both actually, but I get some of these guys. They're like 5-star talkers, and then they're just not good in the ring. With all the older guys they got over there, you think they could kind of help them. Like I don't expect Penta and Phoenix to be killing it on the microphone, but Omega can do both, I think. But they were at least smart. They gave him with Callis. Omega's he got on my nerves with his promo on Wednesday. I don't always think he's that great. I think Orange is good all around. Jericho, of course, all around. But like MJF, he cuts an amazing promo, but then ding, 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 just like Kingston. Their promos are so good, and then they get in the ring and just kind of like nothing I haven't seen in the '80s.
I think I like who is it? I think obviously all the ex WWE guys they have a actual like trick up their sleeve against all of them. Like, yeah, I've done mic work and I'm pretty good because of just the process. So like I like Miro. I think they're doing a great idea. Like Miro does good in-ring talking, but his promos that are taped are always excellent. Like even I had never heard him until this week about his always like I only lay down for my hot wife at every hotel room. I'm like, okay,
kind of funny. I got to admit, I hope she doesn't show up, but I like how he always references that he has a hot wife.
but I like and then what is it? I just think even with the Penta, I think they should just give a little bit more of a allowance. Like I do like the whole having the guy who does the pre-show stuff on YouTube. Penta said like that's fine. But I think they should just run the whole idea. Have Penta do the whole promo in Spanish. And it could be a long ass like segment and then have him go, Penta said you're like, screw you. Like, just basically like
Yeah,
that.
just like give one sentence answer.
Yeah.
Like, he said you're next. You know, like,
You're next.
no, and I like Penta and Phoenix. They're I think just so amazing. I didn't care. I mean, I don't want to jump ahead. I think Punk's interviews are okay. I think he does a little pandering now. I'm anxious to see
Yeah.
what he does in the ring because I don't. Punk was never a big guy by any means, but it, I want to see how he looks tomorrow night because he seems smaller. I mean, like he's clearly he's kept in good shape, but he seems actually smaller than when he was in WWE or even UFC when he was more natural weight.
I see what you mean. Because I say, like, I think he looks kind of the same, but also I guess maybe he's lost some body mass. Of course, he hasn't, like, it's not like, oh, he's skinny, but like maybe you just deflated a little bit of your muscle since you've been out and you've only had to, I don't even know, like, UFC wise, he's been in the, like, it's still been like 3 years since UFC matches, right?
And I mean, I'll say it again. He has a much better win-loss record than Brock Lesnar. So obviously, he is the better UFC fighter.
Facts.
Lesnar has lost 4 UFC matches. Punk has lost 1. It speaks for itself.
Numbers
you can
don't
throw
lie.
that shit of, well, Lesnar was the champ of this. It's schematics. No, I'm Punk's go to sleep on Wednesday looked
Look shitty.
it looked like if I would have done the go to sleep. But then again, he's fighting Darby, who's probably a walking around weight of 160 pounds. So throwing him up in the air and kicking him, which you know he's going to do, that's not going to be hard. I'm just curious if one of these guys is going to turn heel or if it's going to end with a run in or what.
I think it's gonna run. I think that 2.0 is coming because of, last night, which we'll get into. But like last night's CM Punk was actually on the mic for like during the match to talk, and he wasn't teasing nothing. It's not like the Daniel Bryan stuff, but just how he's like, oh, I'm not done with them and all that stuff. I'm like, there's one way to make it, but also I don't think that's a smart move. I think getting I don't think having a 2.0 coming to interfere is going to work on that crowd. I think they want to see CM Punk, especially in Chicago. I think if anything,
he's
if
got to
he
win
can,
or it's got to go to a draw. I really hope a draw. The only thing that would save it is if the run in was Daniel Bryan. You know, it's got to be, if someone's going to do a run in or a fuck finish, it can't be, like you said, it can't be 2.0. It can't be an Omega. It's got to be Daniel Bryan. I mean, that's about the only thing that I think people wouldn't shit on.
I think the only way that if they want to do the 2.0 thing, it would have to be them to interfere. It doesn't disqualify the match, but there's just a segment that he can do the go to sleep. Darby can cough and drop the other one, and then they proceed back into the fold of the match, and then maybe go into a draw. But like, you know what I mean? I don't think, judging by how the crowd last night, which I didn't know was going to be live, I'm like, okay, that at least helps my mentality of thinking compared to the pre-recorded one. I'm like, I don't think they're going to be hot for any slick fucking moves.
No.
From anything, because like they didn't sound too hot for Malachi. They didn't mind the result, but that was a long burning fucking match, and they sound dead in their seats.
I miss Daly's place. Daly's place to me was their ECW arena. That was their place. And I'm not in charge of the books. I know you got a tour to make money, but that building's always hot. When they had no crowds because of the pandemic, everything still worked for him. You know, it was just perfect. Tony Khan's dad owns that building, folks. So you're there rent free. I mean, that's never like, oh, we were lucky to get this place. It's the home of your dad's football team. Of course you got that place. Do your show there. I say do your show there every week. Do both your shows there every week. Do your fucking pay-per-views there every week. You always have a hot crowd, and then just tour and make your money. I get you want to go to bigger venues, but I mean, it was kind of. I'll go back to the ECW thing. Watching an ECW arena show, it was hot because of that crowd. Watch any show ECW did, like a pay-per-view where they went to another city or something like that. It sucked, and it because the crowd wasn't there. I like I said, I understand financially why you don't do a show always in daily. What's Daly's place? 5,000 people, but I like the crowd. I wish they would just do one of your shows there. I mean, if you don't do a pay-per-view, I would love to see one of the shows every week just be at Daly's place. I miss the place. I got teary-eyed when they did the video for it, for God's sakes.
I'm looking forward to, well, when you say, I agree. I think it's good to have that safety net for real homecoming episodes, but they have to get back out. I'm conflicted on that. I think they do need to tour, of course, not even about money, but the idea of like you have fans outside of Florida. Like I'm outside of Florida. I'm pretty sure you're outside of Florida. We're chomping at the bit. We're waiting for that one time that there is an arena show that even if our crowd, even if our crowd is maybe colder than what we come in ready to be, we're looking for that experience, because if we stay at Daly's place, it goes into those conversations of like, oh, you are just doing kind of like an NXT level of like fans. So like we get into that same conversation, even though and I know and the rest of the state knows, or the nation knows, that it's like, oh, they're the competition to Raw, their competition to their Rampage. I don't know if was Rampage get number one trending, or was it Dynamite this week number one?
Dynamite was. Yeah. Rampage is really within the span of a couple of weeks turned into a 1980s jobber show. It's 3 matches, and you can tell. I can tell you right now. You know what's going to be next week? There's going to be a match, regular, either tag team or single. Then you're going to have a couple of the ladies fight. Then you're going to have another match. It's 3 matches, always sandwiched with a female match. That formula, I mean, it's a formula, but I need a reason to watch. Especially last night's show should have been maybe a 2-hour special. You should have had like some type of big go home or something.
Okay. I'm still, I don't know if, again, I don't know if it's involving a misstep in, we know how to do a wrestling show, but we're having trouble figuring out how to make a TV show for Rampage. Because like Rampage, like you said, there is a formula, and like it does vary. Maybe because like you said it, we've also had 3 weeks of middle women's thing. So it might be a good chance Britt Baker might be no, she was the ending of the first
one of that hometown girl, Philly. So I'm
just trying to figure out, like, because like it is a kind of like a, I ain't gonna lie, after that first week, the past 2 I've been just watching on my phone, and I have not felt remorse of not. I just sometimes just stop and just come back later. It's it's an hour show, about 40 minutes without ads and commercials. It feels like an hour. Dynamite 2-hour show goes right by. Rampage, it's like, when's something gonna? I mean, the highlight of Rampage for me this week was a fucking interview from Eddie Kingston that could have just been done on Wednesday. And an interview, and then the guy gets heat for the interview because of all the snowflakes out there. No offense, snowflakes that are listening. I liked Eddie Kingston's promo. I think, yes, maybe I think they need to take a little step back and understand we're just doing a story. I don't think nobody's real God has been directly talked about. It's just a story, and they did a very good vanilla idea of keeping a cool story of, like, we have fucking men in underwear talking to each other about belts that they don't have pants for. So Correct. We can talk about a fake God that is not even named, besides Miro is his redeemer of X fake god.
Yeah.
So we can have this conversation.
Two guys in underwear fighting over. You don't watch a movie and go, oh, damn it. They done did this. You're watching a soap opera.
Yes. And then I will say I did like Chris Statlander versus the handicap match. I mean, it gets a little for what is it story wise of okay, are you saying Chris Statlander is that OP, or are you trying to show that Britt Baker's going to beat Chris Statlander, which I hope, which we'll get into that. But I kudos to that cameraman who was following Jamie Hayter's backside more than the fucking match. So
I like Statlander. I think Statlander's hot, but what I kind of miss, and I know it's a little corny, but she used to work a lot in. She did a lot of indies, and she did a lot of indies in Game Changer. So did Orange. So did the Best Friends. That's probably where they all got to meet. But being she's an alien on the indie circuit, she had telekinesis. So she'd be in like these scramble matches and stuff, and she'd just be like, and she'd go like this, and her opponent would run, or if it was a three-way, then she'd go like that, and they'd hit each other, and it was fun. It got a cheap pop, but she could wrestle. It's like I understand why they're not doing that, but I mean, her whole gimmick, they don't even focus on the alien thing. It's like, let's throw a girl in with the Best Friends and Orange Cassidy and give them a girl in their gang. So now we can sell the shirt and their merchandise is ass ugly, but they have the shirt where they're all on the bicycle and she's in the
well, you don't like the ET?
No, I mean, like my son and my wife both have the yearbook photo. I think it's called the Cassidy with his face. My son has the one Best Friend shirt, which I actually like. It's Chucky, Trent, who's always fucking hurt, and Orange, and they're like wanted posters. And then he has the one with Sue going like that in the van. And then I have one with the two of them sitting in the van. But they also have about 40 other ones that are ugly. I mean, the amount of shirts these people put out, I mean, God bless them. But I mean, it's like I'm not even wearing an AEW shirt this week. My MJF one's in the wash, but I do need to up my game and get some more.
Pro Wrestling Tees, if you're watching, we'll definitely take I'll take even a mystery bag.
Yeah,
one that you guys sell, but just AEW, please.
I'm not gonna lie to you. When they announced the AEW crate, I did sign up for it for my son. I didn't get myself one, but I'll let you know what's in it because it should be coming. It's supposed to be in line with the pay-per-views, but they've also sent out plenty of emails that they're about 3 or 4 weeks behind now because of the influx of CM Punk shirts. So they're out of white T-shirts, I think. So,
oh Jesus! But I would actually, if they would sell it, but they ain't ready yet. But if they did it earlier, because they did used to do all the fucking little nose touching stuff, but I'd actually wouldn't mind. I don't think the mainstream AEW fan would be ready for telekinesis, but yeah,
it would give a little depth to the character.
I'm just a big sucker of like, I don't care. Like if the match goes well, even if you have a telekinesis moment, I'm fine. I just want.
I've seen so many indies where they fight the Invisible Man. Chikara, they used to throw invisible hand grenades. And yeah, it's fucking dumb. And I get why it's not on national TV. But I've always said every now and then that's why you need Colt Cabana. You need a comedy match. You need something stupid. Just and that's it.
Yeah. I'm also, there again on YouTube, I got to watch there was a girl who thought she was a cat. And I'm like watching this. I'm like, this is cool. I'm like, is this a weird kink to me or something? I don't know why I'm like the show. This is kind of cool. Work for me.
Oh, I think she's hot.
But
she's fighting tonight. Game Changer Wrestling, Art of War Games, 44OH versus Nick Gage's MDK gang in their first ever double cage War Games match for Game Changer Wrestling.
For tonight?
Plug tonight. Fight TV, $14.95. Starts 7 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern. I have mine ordered.
No, that's actually, might talk to you after this recording, but I'm ready but I didn't even know it was episode 100. Like they didn't even promote it like in their templates. They just started on their tweets, like of like the description, but the picture was just normal. I'm like, yeah, I felt dumb. I'm like, AEW is like 3 years old. We're only on episode 100. They haven't missed a Wednesday. I thought it would be like past 100, but no, I was off on my. The AEW started in December 2019. So yeah, here we are. And but yeah, let's get into it, I guess, about
Yeah, I
at
guess
least the show.
Dynamite. You know, it
Yeah.
opened up with a good match this week on Dynamite. My team, I know they're called Proud and Powerful. I still call them LAX, Santana and Ortiz. Took on FTR, you know,
That was
Buck Revival. That's a lot of people's team. It ain't mine. You know, I think they had to throw this match together because the one Revival guy, I can't tell you one from the other, got his hand hurt on the turnbuckle. That match got cut very short. I thought it was a good match. I think the Revival, or whatever you want to call them, FTR, once to me, I'm sorry, fans. I think they're very overrated. They don't really, never have done much for me. They're a good 80s brainbuster team, which I like that they have Tully. I love Santana and Ortiz. I thought the two styles were good. Nice little brawl, nice wrestling. I liked it. I thought it was a good. I thought it was a good opener. Didn't need to be pay-per-view. It was a very good opener. I had a good time with that fight.
it was is really good. And also watching it, I think I do agree. I do see why this was supposed to be on Fight for the Fallen, which is uh, it was a free, like back
Yeah,
in the
those
couple
were
years,
still.
like 2 years ago, it was a pay-per-view, but it was free. They said it's on a special day, but it's free. So it's definitely one of those matches. Like it was good. And I like FTR, but I like Santana Ortiz more also. Uh I think it was a really great match. I think again, maybe we're looking at something we don't know. I think they are breaking the inner circle in the best way they can by having them shine on their own. And you don't even think about them that actually broke up because they have so many tag teams that are over right now. We need more belts, but because like I'm looking forward to, I'm hoping even like Lucha Brothers win, so we can get like a Lucha Brothers versus Santana Ortiz match. We'll get I think I don't even know if this would sell. This is probably the money match, like you say. Of course, Jurassic Express versus Lucha Brothers, but I've seen it so much. I want to see some other teams shine. But it was a really great match, and I'd give it. That was definitely a good a match.
And Santana and Ortiz, the sequence toward the end, I mean, they pulled off 4 or 5, you know, double teams in succession, double team power bombs, double team stunners. Really good. That's why when I watched because I remember when FTR showed up and everybody, oh, the dream match, FTR and the Bucks, the dream. Wasn't a bad match, but I don't know. Like when WWE let them go, and everybody, oh, they let them go. They're stupid, degraded. It's like, eh, they're they remind me, which I think they're supposed to. They remind me exactly of Arn and Tully back when I was a kid. I didn't give a shit about Arn and Tully. I was a Rockers fan. Midnight Express. I like my teams that do flippity, as Jim Cornette would say, my flippity moves. FTR just, I don't know. I don't. They're just there for me. I'm kind of glad that they had the match. LAX won. I think there's other teams they could work with that might give them better matches.
I think FTR is also it's one of those things like I think the being part of a group maybe it's not affected them, but the idea of their formula of wrestling looked a little bit better in WWE because I liked them when they were a little bit more heelish. So like a guy has his head outside the rope, like taking a breath, and then we'll call it Dax because I don't know which one is Dax also, but like comes up and pops him and just
Yeah,
gets that little quick move in and like because they hit a nail on the head with their couple shirts of WWE. No flips, none of that shit. They just layered up, hit. So I don't mind because I maybe it's me not having that much remembrance of those since I was young, but like I do appreciate like that more of a boots on the ground style wrestling. So, but compared to like you said, I don't think Young Bucks and FTR would have been the money match just because Young Bucks is a, like you said, a razzle dazzle fucking flippity matching. So I'm like, you just basically watching Young Bucks in the air while FTR's catching. That's for no reason. Like, oh, here he is. Here comes Matt. Oh, here comes Chris. You know.
Yeah, like you said, it's that old school like he makes the face, he makes the hot tag, but the ref didn't see it because the FTR's got him tied up, or they switch without tagging and maybe just go on the apron to old school. And yeah, it just, to me, it don't work when you're fighting. What the fuck do I want to see? Like you said, here come the Bucks hitting a Meltzer driver, and you're doing the a German suplex. You know, I mean, I'm kind of at a loss of what some of their moves are, but yeah, they need to find different kind of people. Like you said, they're contra, and fans are going to get mad. That's a WWE team. That's a tailor-made WWE team. It's not a high fly team, and every team in AEW is a high fly team right now.
You have every tag team besides FTR is a high flying, but they all have a super kick. I don't think neither of those boys can lift their leg up that high.
No.
And not in a bad, I'm not, hey, because again, I like their wrestling, but also they're out. They have nobody there that, okay, they can probably do best friends in FTR would be a good match because Chucky does kicks, but he does classic stuff too. He does that weird like faces like, oh, here we go. And he looks like he's kind of like just wrestling by numbers. Like, all right, here's this move. Boom. All right, we're going to get up to do this.
I got one. FTR against Cody and Dustin. That would probably be.
That'd be another one. Way better than what's going on with Malachi and them right now. But yeah, that's down the road.
Yeah, that was a good match. And ironically, the second was an interview with Punk. They brought him out second, and it wasn't really an interview. He came to the ring. He was getting ready to talk, and then here comes this fucking I forget their goddamn names. I got to look them up here.
2.0.
2.0 and that Daniel Garcia guy. They jump him again. And you know, Darby, and that was, you know, Darby and Sting come down. They do the face-to-face. Punk hits a terrible go to sleep. Here's the Sting. Here's the Scorpion Death Drop. Here's the Coffin Drop. And all the faces got to do the finish. Their finishing moves. It didn't, and then they have the stare down, of course, and there's the handshake and all that. I don't like the insertion of 2.0 and Daniel. They're elevation and dark jobbers to me. It's nothing against them, but why are they inserted into the match people have waited 7 years to see? I just can't fathom this.
I just this promo was 1 week too late. This should have happened last week because again, last week was such a terrible CM Punk moment because of like it was just the same, and also like we've already said it again, but I don't like CM Punk. Like, do you really like me? Did you forget about me? Like, no, like just shut up.
Yeah.
And then the 2.0 thing, like you have real people that are in your rosters before 2.0 came out of nowhere. Like, unless there's something that's not in store, like in the thing and some of the real life things happening, like why isn't the Acclaim being the 2.0 of this conversation? Because I'd rather have somebody who can do proper mic work in ring compared to these cut promos at 2.0. It's like, we're going to be there and we're going to twist your arm really bad. We're going to give you Indian burn. Watch out. Like that stuff. Like the Acclaim could come out and actually cut and give you like the heel perception of watching two faces fight, just to have that lingering thing after, or again, what we think has to be interference coming on pay-per-view, but yeah, it just I don't care that about Daniel Garcia, but also at the same time, like you guys are like you really need three people to be like problem makers right now. Like, come on, you have a lot more opportunities or people on elevation who have been putting in the work, like Cody likes to say, that should be doing it, not them.
Just have Punk come down. Darby, get in the ring right now. We're gonna fight, best. Yeah, I got a better one for you. Don't do anything. The guy's already fucking over. Everybody ordered the show and bought the ticket. The building's sold out. You don't even fucking need him. Have him do commentary.
Sold out before he even came there.
Yeah, the show is sold out. There is no need to. There was no need for this. This was you're gonna get the wrong kind of heat. I think the logic that they probably have is, oh man, 2.0, we're gonna get all the heat now because they're attacking. They're getting the kind of heat that you and I are given. What the fuck are these guys doing there? This is so stupid. That's the wrong kind of heat.
Yeah, because I don't hate them. I just
don't
understand why they're there. Like I don't understand why it goes into like the heat will swerve towards the company, not them. Like, but like just it gets into that. But yeah, like I said, I think it's a week too late. But I'm more glad to see. And then they did the right thing. They also had Sting on the mic to kind of like banter, since apparently Darby can't speak or whatever. But I don't get that part because I think they should have done a lot more during those times of COVID. Just like, hey, we're gonna work you in some mic work for no reason, but also so you can pretend you're talking to people when we get 11,000 people in the fucking arena, so you can speak. So we don't have all these goddamn managers. But they're like, nope, let's have fun.
Well, then even Sting, when he's like, I'm gonna come down, I'm gonna fist bump my partner, and then I'm gonna go in the back. What he should do is like, this fucking idiot Tony Khan's making me fly out to walk down a ramp for 38 seconds, but at least I'm getting paid. It's like, so you're cutting a promo just to go fist bump my partner, and then I'm gonna leave. It's like, whoa, what the fuck are you even doing there? What just here's the easy way to do that. You could have had a videotape segment that you recorded, or you could have just had Darby look at Sting there. I got to do it on my own. I want you to stay in the back, because he has done that before. So Sting's whole promo that he cut, instead of the two guys fighting, is to tell us that he's not going to be at ringside. It was a really
I'm not going to be there.
Segment. Yeah, I'm not going to be there. I'm taking my check and get the airplane, but I'm not going to be I'm not going to be in my partner's corner.
They even this segment it felt delayed. Like Darby must have been scared of CM Punk. He stalled out to cue his music. Like there was a good little brawl going on with 3 against 1, and then Darby goes, all right, hit the button. I guess it's been 5 minutes.
And why to me, and this has always bothered me. I mean, it's bothered me since fucking WrestleMania. God, was it 7 or 8 when the Ultimate Warrior made the return to save Hogan? Obviously, the music man knows you're coming down, so someone has tipped you off. Why do they need music to come and make I get it, because then the crowd's like, it's the music and all that. But in all honesty, just have the guy run down cold. It makes it seem a lot more believable.
Yeah.
That was a weird. Now, the next match, I liked it. I disliked it. Is my man Orange. He was on there. He's still in that feud with the Hardy family. He's taking on Jack Evans. Jack Evans and Angelico, the two guys I really like. They do not belong on live TV yet. They fuck up so many moves, but the match was good. Orange can go with there, but it ends during picture in a picture. I remember they come back from picture in picture and the match is over, and I'm like, the fuck is going on? And I because I've always bitched about their timing of their show, and then I read that Tony Khan wanted that to happen because then you always have to pay attention because it can happen at any time. Okay, if that's the case, then you need to do the old Bill Watts stuff when I was a kid, which used to piss everybody off. And when the main event's going, you run out of time. You got to wait till next week to see what's going to happen because, obviously wrestling's real. That was what they were trying to do back in the day. It's real, so we don't know when it's going to end. Don't have something in on a fucking picture in a picture to prove your point. No one's watching that little goddamn screen. I'm watching the fucking Shaq pepperoni pizza ad on the side. It's don't even do the pic. When you do picture in picture, you should go back and watch Blood and Guts, because that's when Jericho was climbing the cage during their, like, I don't know, ninth picture in a picture in that fight. And Jericho's just kind of, he's climbing so slow, and he's like, he's pandering to the crowd and everything. That's what you do in picture time or a commercial break. Don't do a finish of a match. It's just stupid.
I didn't know they finished in the match. I thought I was watching it then, but I'd have turned it off if I noticed that. I must have turned my neck or something because I didn't even know it was picture in picture.
But right when it came back, Orange got his hands raised. It was just it was like a roll up or something he hit. I mean, forget here, I can actually tell you exactly how it was.
That's what it was. The replay happened.
It
was that weird
small package. That's it.
Yes. I remember seeing the small package maneuver, but I didn't know it was the replay. And then what? Right, then Matt Hardy came out to beat the crap out of him.
Hardy came down. Here comes the whole gang came down and beat him up, and but that was a setup for the pregame show. What is it? It's going to be Orange, Wheeler Yutan, and Chucky T, and somebody else, I think. Let me look, because I think nope, they're going to fight the Private Party and Helico. But it just kind of end with the big fucking. Oh no! And then Jurassic Express came down too, because you got to get them on the show. So you do the pregame where, the new best friends, because Trent's hurt. Wheeler and Chuck, Orange, and the Jurassic against 2.0, the Private Party. I don't know, Party stupid ass gang on the countdown show.
All I'm saying is, we'll stick to the Dynamite part. No one gave a shit about Matt Hardy coming out, and like it just got like, whoa. But the weird thing is about us fans is when Jurassic Express happened, I saw people going, "Ooh," then the music, I see them go, "Ooh," they're just going nuts. I'm like,
they're over.
Yeah, no, they even showed it during this on the main event, but yeah, when we get there, but it was okay, but just like the idea of like, I want to be able to review this fucking show when it's a good show without us having to critique everything, you know what I'm saying? Because like, well, I'll keep saying, I think it has to be now, hey, we're gonna make a whole month before a pay-per-view feel more WWE, since now we have more shows. And now it just feels like it feels like it took 7 years to get to this Sunday now within these past 7 shows. Like it feels like a lifetime. And I don't know if they're ready. And I don't want to say that about them. And just like, come on, like we got to figure this out. Or they could do this idea for their next pay-per-view, since it's in like 3 months or 4 months, like it's far away. Make Rampage not even talk about the fucking promo, the thing. Just have their own stories or something. Just make something, because like them repeating themselves. Me, again, I'm a person who does not have anything about CM Punk. I have no passion or like connection to him. I'm watching him like, you're gonna make me almost not give a fuck. I would rather have Darby win.
I want Darby. I like it. I love Darby. I want him to win. He ain't gonna, but I want him to.
But you also have a connection with CM Punk that you're happy he's there, which I'm happy. My happiness comes from seeing other people happy. I still like that fucking guy who's crying in the fucking crowd. I like that. He's cool. And then the idea of like, I'm waiting to watch him wrestle, but also at the same time, the build up is not getting me ready to pop, and just like it makes me fizzle out.
And I really think, and for me, it's so hard. Obviously, Punk is a better bad guy than he is a good guy. He's a natural heel. But you're going to debut this guy that people have wanted for 7 years now. To his credit, for 7 years, people have chanted his fucking name. You're going to debut him in his hometown. He ain't going to get booed. When he came out there, he should have said something like, and I'm just throwing some names out. That's why in the ring, I want you, Malachi Black. I want you, Kenny Omega. I want you, QT Marshall. Yeah, I want you, Miro. don't take fucking. I want you, Darby Allen. Because Darby can go with him. Darby, if there's any ring rust, can take care of that. But that was your boy. You built Darby and you gave him Sting, for God's sakes. Over as fuck, beloved. Yeah, so let's get this new guy cup, because I'll tell you what, they're in Chicago. I got a buddy that's like, that's when you're gonna get the big heel turn from CM Punk at the end. Nobody's gonna fucking boo him. They're not, and I don't know if anybody could boo Darby either. So I'm sure it will be the best match of the show. But yeah, for me, it's like Punk ain't gonna lose, nor should he. I don't want Darby to lose. He was one of the people that carried the company during COVID. And I don't want it to end in a run-in. The only way that's going to work for me is if they go to a 20-minute draw. And that ain't going to happen either. Well, good. All their matches go 20-something minutes anyway, so. They do give you your money's worth. I will give them that.
Yeah, but I just maybe it's because it ain't the WWE thing, because WWE does. I think one thing I like about WWE is I do like that you could turn on the pay-per-view. You don't have to watch a lick of the whole build-up because they have those promos at the beginning. But some of them with AEW, which I don't want them to go that route. But like, I don't need 3 weeks of the show that are not going to get cut into a video promo of just the same repetitive, like, but yeah. What was the next match?
The next match, no, it wasn't a match. It was the in-ring interview of JR, good old JR, interviewing Chris Jericho.
Crying about Chris Jericho.
And the only credit I'll give is, and I said the week before MJF came out, I'm still mad they're fighting again because the goddamn stipulation was, if I beat you, you got to leave me alone. But he had on the shirt that he wrote with the pin, MJF 3, Jera Blow 0. You can buy that shirt now, Pro Wrestling Tees. So yeah, the match got a shirt, but but he's not doing it. He's not doing it right in the sense, unless it's a swerve when he's like, I remember when you recruited me, Jim Ross. It's like, okay, so we're supposed to forget that you were in WCW. Okay, we can forget that you were in WCW. It was a weird interview. He's like, I know I can beat him. I've got to beat him. And if I can't beat him, I'll still be the best announcer and I'll be doing commentary. It's like, dude, are you giving away the fucking ending of the match? You need to lose. Well, you're going to lose because you're going on tour with your goddamn band. You're all over social media. You gave the reasoning away months ago. You should have had the end of the match, because their match stunk, unless that's the only thing I can think of. Like we said, they missed a labor. They skipped one of the labors, or they knew the match stunk. But MJF beat him. I don't know if I'll ever be able to look myself in the mirror again. You just commentate, you go on tour with your band, yada, yada. 5-6 months down the road, you get mad, you come in the ring, that's it. But the interview is just, all he gets is, I don't know if I can beat him. But boy, if I can't, I'll commentate. It's like, so you're telling me your backup plan. You're telling me you're going to lose. That's what you're telling me.
They have because like they keep saying, I will not wrestle in AEW. So like, okay, we know Chris Jericho's rocking, but that cruise ship is happening sooner than later. Like you said, even tour. But last time they had the cruise ship, AEW was there. So I just was I was more curious of like,
it now TV actually.
Now I have a funny thing that could be a funny way to get him to wrestle. One little quick thing for the boat. They could say, oh, AEW does not have any restrictions on like on water, like whatever, like international law.
International waters, yeah.
So then they have Chris Jericho actually like have like an MJF just on the boat match, but that would have been funny. But that's down the road. But MJF and Chris Jericho are in that same idea of like, I don't think MJF needs a lose, but because and then Chris Jericho, how do I word it? I don't know if this would be his win just because he lost. Like, it's just hard. It's really, they had some really weird story to break into this pay-per-view, which I guess is good because obviously it makes people want to invest and see what the heck is going to be the results. Because like it goes into that like you have to go in like I have a logical thoughts of here's the outcome, but some of the things that are behind the scenes that some inside wrestling fans need to want contradict. Like NGF is like needs to win, but do we need to have Chris Jericho stick to this idea he's never going to wrestle again? Because Chris Jericho is so over, you have a Houston crowd singing a song with no fucking audio. You know what I mean? So it's hard to, I don't know. Like there's some things that contradict. So it is, I'm looking forward to tomorrow.
Yeah, I think, I don't think the match is going to be that good unless they really go all out, because the last one stunk. Hey, and it's called All Out. I just thought of that. Yeah, I'll say it again. If Jericho loses, they will never fight again. They broke the stipulation 2 weeks later. That's the only thing I think. But, I've been watching wrestling for 40 years now, easy. I've seen so many people retire and come back. Those storylines are open-ended. That's why I never liked them unless you're legitimately going to retire, which no one does. So, yeah, the interview, I don't even know why the fuck Jim Ross was even in there. I got to say something about Jim Ross. You know what? There's one problem I have with too many young people. God damn it, why isn't Jim Ross telling me where these people play football? I mean, if you watch WWE, it was always like Bradshaw Layfield, great quarterback in Texas State, or look at this, here comes everybody, here's Juventud Guerrera, outstanding linebacker at Tijuana University, or he doesn't do that anymore. None of these guys play football, so he can't say that. He used to always be like, oh, right there, great defensive tight end at Colorado. He didn't get to do that anymore, so it's really hurt the gimmick. So I need Jericho. I need them to hire some guys that actually play ball, so Jim Ross can get back to that. But it's possible the next match I'm going to shit on, and I feel bad because I like Brian Cage. I on occasion I talk to him. Brian Cage, I interviewed when he was in Lucha. Brian Cage is the nicest, fucking coolest dude you'll ever meet. He's a 300-pound luchador. They got him. Powerhouse Hobbs sucks. No offense, he sucks. Why Taz? Taz got his kid a job just to stand there. Look, the match stunk. This should have been two big guys beating the shit out of each other, which it kind of was. It was boring. Here comes fucking Starks. He hits him with the belt. That's about as worn out old school as you get. He hides under the apron. That was a little funny. And they've outwitted Cage again. He just looked stupid again this week. That was just dumb. I mean, the whole they teased Cage turning on that group for about 3 months, which was about 2 months longer than the tease needed to be. And there's been no payoff. They just keep making him look like a schmuck. The only thing that was good is when they did the celebration and Cage ran in and fucked them all up. But now every week it's just they're outsmarting Cage. It was just a bad match. I think too, I'm spoiled. There's so many athletic guys over there that can do so much. I don't really tune into them to watch the big man matches, but this wasn't a good big man match in my opinion. This is a bad match, and that's all I can say about it. And luckily, it was quick. It was a bathroom match.
Starks and Cage have the pay-per-view match, right?
Do they?
Do they even? I didn't know. I was like,
they got a match. Maybe
that's okay. Then I definitely agree. Like, why is this on TV right now? Like, this could be this. No offense to Taz and the FTW whole shtick. I know that you have a little clip on your YouTube about some idea does Taz believe in his own gimmick thing, which plug. But the idea of
he did, by the way.
Oh, I'm more trying to figure out is like just during this time of a pay-per-view, not saying it's deserved to be on it, but you could then have this at the FTW belt be talked about during Dark and Elevation during this weird, we're going to a pay-per-view, guys. After the pay-per-view, we can get back to the old-fashioned, every belt's on TV right now. But the idea, if if they don't have a match, which I can't remember offhand because I know we'll probably look at the card down
Yes, so we'll look
later.
at the card here at the end, but yeah, I don't recall them being on the card, to be honest with you. Which, if they're not, that's great because I don't want to see them fight.
Right, but the idea like why you on Dynamite the night before, like the week before, like this week. So, and I think I ain't gonna lie, I think I went to the bathroom, so I don't think I even remember seeing it.
I'll tell you, the next match stunk. It was I got to look up her name because I always mispronounce it. Ty Conte versus Penelope Ford. Penelope Ford is, say it again, she's gorgeous. She is
They
so
both
beautiful.
are.
Hi, yeah, she's beautiful. The match, like you said, we're at the go home. We're building up to a pay per view. They still ain't on the damn pay per view.
They're in the battle
Oh,
royale.
you're right. They're in the battle royal because that's why the bunny, who looks really
No,
good until you do a zoom in, she has to run down at the end to show that her and Penelope Ford have an alliance. Because
and
those work out so well for someone in these battle royals.
I'm all well. Okay, how would I word it? Maybe I do like their women's wrestling, and I was actually excited for the result of this match after the after Tay wins because obviously, it's no brainer. But the idea, I'm glad to see that Anna Jay is coming back into the ring, and she'll be at the battle royale also. And then obviously gives you the whole little gimmick story of in the middle of the match that Tay has Anna Jay again, and then obviously will take care of the bunny and Penelope Ford during the match. But it just makes me because before Anna Jay got hurt, her and Tay were doing all right tag team, like women's tag team stuff. It just gets you into that mode of like, we just need more belts. We need that women's tag or some like get a women's tag in here so that there could be some reason to have some people working together. You can have, man, that would be even like a really cool women's tag at the beginning. Like you could have Nyla and Jade own the belts at first because they're just powerhouses, and then like start those gimmick stories like that. But yeah, I get more happy just it just means good, somebody came back from injury, so they're all recovered. So that gets me to think about. I'm all good.
We had the little backstage segment where Nyla Rose gets beat, or no, Thunder Rosa gets beat up by
Yeah,
Nyla Rose and Vicky Guerrero out there, and Smart Marks.
Jade.
Yeah, and that led up to the main event, which was the Lucha Brothers Jurassic Express. I really, really thought this was going to end fucked up, where it'd be a three-way dance. It was a great match. The crowd was into this match. These teams are about as over as you can get. Penta pulls it off. The who everybody, I think, if you had to pick a winner, everybody wants to see the Lucha Brothers win. They win, and then here come the Elite. Kenny Omega was terrible in that microphone.
I liked it because I think he did it on purpose, like that. Hey, Mike, hold this, and then he's like, "Oh, you want some?" And then hey, Mike, hold this again. Like they kept making Mike shuffle either the belt, the kendo stick, or the microphone. Maybe I heard it and I just caught on. Like, okay, he's fucking around. Like that's his heel is just being like glumpy guy. Hey, hold this. You want some of this? Get Christian. Yeah. Okay, Mike, hold this belt.
I had lunch with Tony Khan. I got the keys to the power room. It's like, Tony Khan don't own the building. What the fuck's he got keys to the power room for? This is stupid. Because you've seen the cage up at the top, so you know something's gonna happen. They bring the cage down. The only part I like about that, everybody's trying to run in to make the save. And they're keeping everybody at bay, except for Orange. He just kind of walked around, and every now and again he'd slowly go up 2 rungs and he'd get like sprayed. Because apparently this fucking cold spray is like mace knocking all.
I like that. I like that spray too. That I don't know. I if you run the gimmick and you sell it, I support it. And I'd like that whole little the seeing that fucking guy with the face mask. I thought because Marco was so high up there.
Oh, I thought Marco should have made the save.
I thought Marco was going to get sprayed and fall into the rest of them. And not just do that like and then creep like fall gracefully down the cage. I thought he was gonna go and then he just fall because he's so small. People can just catch him and then they all fall. And like I thought he was gonna fall off the top of the cage. because he was so quick. He got up there. He's like a part monkey. He was flying up there.
What I was hoping for when they closed the cage, let's take out Christian Cage. I don't care. I don't want to see him in the goddamn main event. Take him out, injure him. There's Daniel Bryan. You know, not that I'm like a Daniel Bryan mark, because I give two shits about him. I don't want Christian Cage fucking heavyweight title shot. It makes no sense to me. That it's boring as shit to me. Him and Omega had a good match on Rampage. I won't say they didn't. They gave him the Impact belt. That's fine. Get a couple belts off Kenny. Let him rest. I don't want to see him. I just watched him have a 20-minute match on Rampage. What the fuck? I want to watch him fight on pay-per-view. Injure him. Get another opponent. Anybody.
I am interested in, because I am a big, like, again, everybody can listen how I talk about it, about the stuff that happens outside the ring. I'm more curious how quick this forbidden door is going to get shut after this week's incident with Carl Anderson and the whole calling shit out at WWE about basically saying to them, you see all that backlash that he got, and like, I rest in peace, that Daphne, I don't know her whole name and stuff, maybe you do.
Daphne Unger, Shannon Sprell. I'm here. I'm stepping away from the screen because I have to do something, but please keep talking.
Oh, no, but the idea of, I just more curious of, like, him calling out WWE. Wait, so like almost what has it been a couple months or at least a year of them being released from WWE, and he's still going like, they suck, and crying.
Hey, marks are bothering me, and I fuck you, Gallows. Gallows and Anderson really were underutilized there, because I mean they're good. My God, you got fucking let go, because and you got another job. You got two jobs.
You got two good jobs.
And Tony Khan, shut up.
And like, read the room. Like, it was about like, you're gonna like, if you want to stick with the whole WWE sucks thing, but don't do it on the one that's talking about that WWE was looking to just open up and let their wrestlers have counseling if they felt like it about a terrible incident. But just where I'm like, if I correct how I say it, if the Acclaim got yelled at for a rap that does not even explain why, is Anderson gonna get in trouble or not get on AEW? Like, why does that get brushed on and not the other one? That's the only part I don't understood. So it goes into like, maybe the Acclaim actually has some outside of wrestling family issues that's why he had to get signed, like, suspended.
Back last night. Caster was back on Dark last night. That ain't no 2-month suspension. That was what, a couple weeks?
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe that was, I still say, you could have cut his mic. You had to know, and you edited it. This could have been an angle. Now he's the most controversial man, and you don't know what he's going to. At the end of the day, I mean, it's wrestling. Everything's a work.
Yeah.
I don't know. But yeah, Anderson's just I do like when a fan will be like, you're a real idiot. Shut up, Mark. Say that to my face. I hate you. It's like, you got a magnificent tan. That's all you got going for you.
I ain't gonna lie, until with the cage dropping, I thought we were gonna get what you thought of, like you just said. Like, I thought could be a spot when Tony goes, no. Stop what you're doing. You know what, Kenny? For taking my keys from lunch when we're talking about video games, you're gonna have a three. Your young bucks are gonna have a 3-way. That's what I thought, was like how you said, a 3-way dance.
Yeah, or even Kenny too. When you said that, you know what? Not only do you got to fight Christian Cage, now you're also going to get in the ring with CM Punk. He's pulling double duty. I mean,
you really don't like Christian Cage, goddamn.
No, I don't. You know what? When he was with Edge, oh, they were funny. I loved him. That was a totally reeking of awesomeness, and that was fucking over. When they split up, Edge did okay. He got a good gimmick, rated R superstar, and he got good feuds with Cena and all that. Christian stunk. I mean, he might be the nicest guy in the world. He might, donate half his checks to fucking charity. He might save dogs. I don't know. He could be, like I said, the greatest guy in the world. It's fucking boring. And I'm sorry, I think I'm still bitter that I heard for weeks, oh, we got this big announcement. Oh, we got a surprise coming in. It's gonna blow the roof off the building, all that. And you get to outwork everyone, and then oh, him, fuck you. You know, I mean, he was in my eyes, he was dealt a bad hand from the beginning because if you tell me I got one of the hottest superstars ever, they're gonna debut at the pay per view, and you give me Christian Cage, and wow. When I'm thinking Daniel Bryan, CM Punk, all these minds they're all still fresh in your mind. You give me Christian Cage with the gimmick of outwork everyone. He's never even said outwork everyone. Yeah, stupid. But he got a title shot, and we go to Rampage. A couple days later, Malachi Black, well, he's going to be their Undertaker. He had a fucking 15-minute intro that the crowd did not seem to give a rat's ass about, and that match should have been 38 seconds long. It should have been punch, knee, kick, done. Not granted, the guy who was fighting, whose name I forgot, didn't give him any real offense. Lee Johnson, thank you. And then you got to hear Mark Henry go, I ain't seen a counter to that move in forever.
I did not. I thought it was a very cold match for what AEW usually opens their shows on. Even the past two matches, or is it 2 or 4? Or are we on week 4?
We're on week. We're on
episode 4
now. Yeah.
So the past 3 weeks of AEW's Rampage have been opening with really hot matches. Mm-hmm. This one it goes into that idea of like different styles. And so Malachi can do this weird lingering, I am here to just wreak pain on you, destruction. And like, I don't know if they need a little bit better mic work for the camera, for the idea of like, he could have like when he was explaining, hit me with this chair. And then my favorite part was everybody and their uncle in that fucking announce table was saying this is the biggest match of Lee Johnson's career. And we have to forget that about a month and a half ago that he had a title shot for the TNT belt. And I didn't know championship belts were less than fighting for revenge for your coach.
Well, what did Henry say about blood type?
Oh, it's because like Jericho's, we're gonna see his blood, like, is he gonna be type A, type B, or then like even Jericho finished the joke by saying the Rock Band type O negative, and then Mark Henry 30 seconds later goes, that's the type of blood.
He's so terrible. And then I noticed at one point Taz was like, look, and he hit him with that kick, and Jericho was like, that's what I'm talking about. We need him with the kick. No, Jericho, like it was almost like he was getting kind of not like legit heat. Like you had Jericho and Taz talking over each other. I think Taz outdid him a little bit. Excalibur didn't say hardly anything, but yeah, like I said, Henry, it'd be a good 30 seconds later. You hit him good. It's just, I didn't mind the match should have been quick. He should have came in, kicked him, and that's it. And then Gold Dust, Blue Dust, Dustin, whatever, he runs down, and Malachi leaves, which I don't know why, but that sets up for the big match, which not on the countdown of the pay-per-view next week. Malachi Black versus Gold Dust. And Jericho even kept saying, well, where the hell is Cody Rhodes? We ain't seen him in a while. It's like, yeah, that's kind of dumb. So all I can think of, like you were saying earlier, Malachi's going to take out this whole family, and then finally, he should be taking him out wearing Cody's fucking shoe. I'll stick with that. But then
that's a good idea.
I mean, and Cody will come back, and that'll be. But if they time it out right, if they delay it, if they play it right, which I would, 3 months from now, 4 months from now, that's your next pay-per-view match. Don't give it away on TV, Cody and Malachi. Make it a pay-per-view match. Cody will bleed. They'll have a good match.
I agree, but I don't. You want 3 months of him torturing the B list of Nightmare Family?
I don't need to see his ass every week, every other week, once a month. I mean, they have, okay. And that's my big bitch now with them. They added that extra, added an hour ain't shit, in all honesty. But I don't want it oversaturated. But they have enough talent where I love Orange Cassidy. I don't need to see him every week. I don't
Yeah.
need to see the Young Bucks every week on both shows. I mean, I don't need to see I can see Malachi this week. I can go a couple weeks without seeing him. There's plenty of people that can take his place. Make it special.
Yes. And then I think it goes into, we're in that weird plateau of like, we just, maybe it's me thinking belts make people feel more satisfied with like these sticks of storylines, but like, if we had a hairpin more belts, either like I don't want to be, but those are the only belts I can think of, like a US belt. We can get like the trios belt. Just get a couple more mid-card belts.
Team titles.
Yeah. Because like, but also at the same time, maybe we'll get into the predictions because we're really close, but maybe Miro, I don't think Miro's going to lose, but maybe it's time because Eddie Kingston.
Not to Kingston of all people.
I also don't like them doing this whole little like kryptonite stuff about him. I'm like, but that goes also into, I guess, this promo too. So I guess that's fair to talk about.
And Miro cuts his big long promo, and Miro has the same promo. I miss the best man. I'll say it again. And he does I'm God's favorite champion, and I fucked my good-looking wife in the hotel, and then Kingston
the Redeemer
down. Kingston's great on the mic. Kingston is the and he's like, your God sucks. Your God's an idiot, and a lot of people got mad. He didn't say God. He didn't say Jesus. He said your God. Miro. We don't know Miro's fucking God. I don't know. Miro could be a Scientologist. I don't know. But then Kingston, he's like, I know the chink in your arm at your neck. Motherfucker, if you hit anybody in the neck, that's a chink in the armor. You can cripple them. I can do the exploder, the DDT, the other move I do, I forgot. He names his 3 moves. He's like, the chink in the armor, your God told me, choke on my nuts, or however he said it. That was kind
redeem
of
these nuts.
Redeem these nuts. He goes in, Miro leaves in the stupidest spot. Then he goes to hit him, gets a hit with the belt. And then he does end up, he's got a nice DDT. I can't say, Eddie Kingston has a hell of a nice DDT. He DDTs Miro, and Miro's laid out. So now you think, oh, Eddie Kingston, he knows the weakness of Miro. It's just, I'm sorry, if I hit Miro in the neck, I could hurt him. If he hit me in the neck, he could hurt. It's your fucking neck. I mean, that's if he could say, like, I found out when he threw his left kick that his quad is kind of sore, so I'm working on his leg. A neck ain't a kink in the armor. It's just your finishing move's a fucking DDT. Is that only said to make it seem better? I don't know. It was just a dumb segment. I don't know how Kingston got a title shot. He loses every goddamn match with Moxley. I thought we were doing rankings here.
With that note, that might mean Miro's going to win because somebody has to come up and go, Miro, everybody you call out are losers. You're not calling out any of the big dog. So like I lied. The one person, but no, I think that's how he won the championship. He beat the fuck out of Lance Archer. So I think that was how he got the title, right?
He beat Darby.
He beat Darby?
Darby for the title. I don't know how he got the title shot. Maybe he did beat Lance Archer. I don't know. Once he stopped being the best man, I lost interest in him.
Because I thought he was the best man to get into the TNT thing. Then he converted.
Yeah, but see, when he was the best man, I'm sorry. When they had that fucking wedding, and the fake priest said, "If anyone here thinks these two should be married," he went, "No. I've seen too many of these weddings happen. We're not asking that question." And then when they were like, "Well, that gives for me. That gives from you, Mr. Chuck," and he smashes it up, and it's an empty box. I've seen this before. I like that. Now when he just goes, "I am the God," it's like, shut up. Go play a video game. That was funnier to me. Apparently, I'm the only one in the fucking world because I posted that when I was shilling the show a few weeks ago, and I was like, am I the only one that misses the best man? And I think people were just commenting, "Yep." I guess I'm the only one that misses it, but I know you're a Kingston fan. I think Kingston's a good talker. I
like Kingston's. I want his DMX stuff. I want that basketball jersey he had of DMX.
Kingston's great on the mic. He's fucking one of the best talkers. He's just when you have a fucking I Quit match with Moxley and it's boring as shit, I can't ever get behind you again.
You gotta get off that indie circuit and just understand TV has a certain way of saying I quit, and it's not the same.
We need the best man back, and that would be the true redeemer of that. At least they're fighting tomorrow night. They should have been on one of the shows to do a little something like that. So the segment, I did like the segment because it actually went somewhere, for the show. So out of some of the other segments, this one actually made a little sense.
That's where I think they should start shining some of these. I think they do a really good job because, like you said, this Eddie Kingston news happened within 2 weeks. Like they've been promoting a match that's only been affected in 2 weeks, and they did. I think they're doing fine. You might not like the match, but the idea of it gets me like, oh, I want to see I want to hear what's going on with the TNT belt, and you only need 2 weeks to pump up the TNT belt. Apparently, it looks just fine at 2 weeks. You don't need 2 months of him going chink in the armor. I'm like, oh, no,
your neck. He's
Get
so animated. Then we had of course, Rampage. We had our women's match. We had my girl Statlander against Rebel Reby, whatever the fuck her name is, and the other girl whose name
Amy Hater.
Hater, yes, a hater. I really do.
You sound like a hater.
I liked, I'll give him credit. The right person won. Chris Statlander is going against Britt Baker, and yet she somehow is so stupid she agrees to do a fucking handicap match before a title shot. But she won. She beat both these girls. She looked strong going into the match with Britt. Britt was out there. And the match was about 5 minutes longer than I really thought it had to be. I like Statlander. I think not only do I think she's beyond gorgeous, great body. I think she's very talented. And I like the gimmick. And I like that she won. Now she's going in to fight Britt, and she just beat 2 people. It looks more like this person, even though she ain't going to win, this person, I think she's got Britt's number. I mean, she don't, but it makes you think a little bit, well, she just beat her 2 henchmen. She's going to take her out next. So I thought it was a good advancement.
I agree. Because I think, so I'm having a brain fart. We just even talked about it. This is definitely, this is probably my favorite match of Rampage. No matter what it is, but the idea of before Chris Statlander got hurt the first time, they were selling her as she was a big problem. Like they've been doing on this run, she was able to take out Nyla Rose. She's been able now to show that I got to take out 2 people at once, have one on my shoulders, grab the other one in my arms, and then slam them down. And like the idea of you're selling her as like a powerhouse, that she is in the same realm of if Nyla had beef, or if Jay Cargill down the road will have beef. You're like, oh, they're the strongest people of the division. And then, but my thing is, does the crowd like the idea? Because especially since it's all the Chicago, so it's going to be the same people watching it in theory. You're like, is Britt Baker over enough against Chris Statlander, who just took out 2 people at the same time? It looks like a powerhouse. I hope so. I think Britt needs to win because I think this will be her. This was I think a match that's supposed to happen the last run before Chris got hurt.
Yeah.
So I do hope this is definitely more. We're gonna push Britt one more. Get this. This is a match that could crescendo and then start the downfall of the next passing of the title, in my opinion. But yeah, what did you think? Britt's obviously going to win Sunday. Okay,
she's over more over than half the guys there.
Okay, just making sure.
Here's what I like about Britt, because if you go back and watch when AEW first started, she stunk. She couldn't talk. She was She was terrible. She was the epitome of shit. She got better. You watched her interviews get better. She became a natural heel. She got better in the ring. I thought, because everybody always says, well, there's no homegrown talent anymore. She's homegrown talent. She started off, she didn't call Shavon, she called him Shavuni. She couldn't know the fucking guy's name. And now to see where she's come, the confidence and everything, I really like that, because I watch, like I said, you usually watch somebody fresh off. She was fresh off the dentist chair, She wasn't off the indies for 20 years. She came in, she stunk. We watched her improve, and she got a title that she deserved. So I think that's another reason I really like her is, this is somebody that worked hard to get where they are. And go back and watch any of the old stuff to now. I mean, she's really good. I give her all the credit in the world for that. For people who are listening, who are new to AEW too, like, I can agree with that, because also when AEW started, I don't know who Britt was. Yeah, and then she legitimately, she was a dentist. She wasn't a wrestler. Yeah, she was the first woman to sign up, blah, blah, blah. But the idea of you're hitting it all right. Cause that's how I felt. I'm like, because in my eyes, I'm like, okay, she's the first woman to get signed. So that must mean she's a big deal. Stick with me. So I always appreciated that it took her 2 years to finally get the belt. Granted, in hindsight, it's because her first stick was terrible. Then she started to more double down on it in that good heel way to go DMD. And also, she has put in the work and got better in the ring. And also, maybe it's me saying a gimmick like that, but like, she had 2 bloody matches, I think, or at least I know for sure one. That real bloodbath with fucking Thunder Rosa. That's the match that really cement. I mean, I bought the shirt. That's the match that really that they always say one match can get you over. That was her one match. I mean, that shot her at a whole nother level. But that idea of she's put in the work. She's been in the title shot talk, but they've always done the right thing of having her be the key. Like, all right, we're gonna lose to Britt, and then you're gonna go up to the championship, and then blah blah blah. And then she finally has worked her way up to become this. Could be from with the Tony connection. It could be obviously all this. So she is definitely a homegrown AEW only like brand girl, and it's good. And then that's what that goes into this thing. I like Chris. But also, I want Britt Baker to win because I think she deserves it, because I think she does really good. I think, I really hope Jamie Hayter's the only like bodyguard shit they do, because I think that's perfect. Cool. You got Jamie come back from the COVID and come across the pond and all that shit to come back. Great way to get her back in. But I really don't like, I don't want Britt Baker to become like the MJF style heel where he's just firing cronies in front of her before the match, because I think she does really good showing that I can beat you in the ring. Like, that's what I'm hoping for. Winning clean, and yes, what does she call her mandible claw? The lockjaw. She lockjawed Nyla Rose. Rebel didn't, or Rebel, whatever the fuck, didn't beat her to death with a crutch. She won clean, and then that's what you need. And if that was good, and then of course we got to get Punk out there, do his pandering. Got to, some guy offers him a drink. That was kind of funny. So he can be a commentator. Not a bad commentator. He kept up with fucking Daffy Duck Jericho there talking. So Darby could fight the 2.0 guy. And, I got to say it again. It just didn't make any sense. It wasn't a bad match. These 2.0 people, they're doing too much. Punk commentating, we're going to see you in Chicago, for the big show. He did. CM Punk actually does really. I think he did better than Chris Jericho, even in that one little announcing spot. Jericho, like you've been saying, I don't know why he wants to keep hearing his voice. So like he just keeps going. Like you can stop, because like you have Excalibur does a really well job doing the announcing. You could take a break, Jericho. Yeah, and like you don't have to even like do all this like. Hey, remember this back in '96, Taz? I want to get Mark Henry give me the blow by blow of these submissions. Like, Oh, got his foot. You know, I want to hear more Mark Henry there.
I hope MJ. We'll get into those predictions, but I hope MJF wins, and then Jericho has to switch places, and Mark gets to stay on the table, and then Chris has to go do the talking telecom. Here's tonight's main event, which you know what I mean, because then Mark can have time to shine and do the slow. Damn, that was crazy.
I make fun of Mark because he's the worst fucking commentator in the world. But if you go during the Attitude Era and watch this whole long run he had as Sexual Chocolate, he could talk. There was some charisma there. He was only that, so maybe everything was written for him. I don't know, but you know, I'd like to hear him, even if he's going to stink. I'd like to hear a little bit on maybe get that whole Plan 9 from Outer Space thing going where you got to hear the horrid commentator. But yeah, I mean, Jericho, he don't fucking breathe. Oh, yeah. Yeah, look at this. Oh, yeah, Taz. When I was into, oh my God, Darby coming in. It's like, shut up. It's too much.
Yeah. And then of course, obviously Darby won, but then he got jumped, right? And then
Yeah.
CM Punk switch and jump down there too.
Luckily, that announcer booth just a few feet away, they can make the run down there. And it was the same goddamn thing that we saw on Wednesday. This time the guy had a match before he got jumped. The other one was an interview before he got jumped. It was the same exact thing.
I just don't. I don't know. Again, it goes in like I just don't know what do they not know how to handle having two faces fight? Like they have to do so. I'm going to protect you. No, I'm going to protect you.
Just if you see a light, I'm pulling up the pay-per-view matches. Yeah, you don't. The beauty of having two faces fight, you don't need any build-up. It's just like, yep, they're going to fight. Who's the best in the world?
Yeah.
So it looks like, all in all, I didn't think it was a bad week. I thought it was a terrible go-home week for a pay-per-view, but I thought Dynamite was good. I think Rampage, unfortunately, is kind of settling into an 80s jobber show, which I hope they change that quick. But I like Dynamite, cared less about Rampage.
I'm going to give this overall week a B plus, and if in my eyes, I could be wrong. If 90 is an A minus, this is an 89 B plus. Like it's very close, and just because of but Rampage definitely stumbled because the first 3 weeks of Rampage, I liked it because it was felt so fast. I don't care because like the jobber match thing, fine, but the idea of they had high octane matches, the first 3 of them, and they go boom, boom, boom. And like this one, like do you have Malachi lingering in the ring to hurt this black man right there, and then just to have then these weird mic moments that are okay. They were a lot better than some promos that they've had, but the idea of it felt like an hour. They've had Rampages that felt like 30 minutes in a good way, in a great way of like, I got so much, like it felt so good. It was too much, but yeah. How would you think about doing these predictions? I think more of like, we'll give our like quick thoughts. Cause obviously I know, surprise for the listeners, we're probably going to do another little quick special
show Monday. So the first match, which is going to be on the pregame show, the Best Friends, which is going to be in this case Orange Cassidy, Chucky T, and Wheeler Yutan filling in for Trent, is going to be joined by the Jurassic Express, and they're going to fight the Private Party, Hybrid, which is Angelico and Black and Jack Evans, and well, it's a 10-man match. You missed somebody, I think, and Matt Hardy. And Matt Hardy. I'm sorry, and Matt Hardy.
Jurassic Express.
Jurassic Express going to get the pin. I mean, there's this was a throwaway. This is we do this long countdown show. We got to stick a match on it. I think it'll be a good match. Actually, I think it'd be a pay-per-view quality match. They got the right amount of talent, but yeah, I say Jurassic Express gets the pin.
I was gonna say the only thing I could hope for besides the only thing out of the Hardy family I like that's in that story, because it could be the Blade too, I can't remember, but I like Angelico's walk out to the stage, and then it'd be a way to actually end the storyline by having I forgot what is it, Wheeler, you said? That's
Yeah,
the
Wheeler
best
U10.
friend. Have him be the pin, since he's been the actual reason why the best friends has been losing to the Hardy family all this time. Have him have the pin, but knowing Jurassic Express is there, Jurassic's going to get it.
You know, the opening, I don't know if this is going to be the order of the matches, but then we're going to have the 21 woman casino. I like casino battle royals, think they're fun. I don't know who the fuck is going to win. I can tell you it ain't going to be Julia Hart. It looks like we've got Nyla Rose, Thunder Rosa, The Bunny, Big Swole, Julia Hart, Hey Conte, Dynamite, Penelope Ford, Red Velvet, Hiroko Shida, Emi Sakuraya, Jade Cargill, Kira Hogan, Layla Hirsch, Keela King, Rebel, Jamie Hayter, Anna Jay, Rio, Sky Blue, and then the Mystery Woman. The Mystery Woman's going to win. Because they always fucking win these things.
We already for it's going to be Ruby Riott, right?
Yeah, that's what everybody thinks.
Everyone thinks it's going to be Ruby Riott, and then I'm going to say Jade Cargill is going to win.
I'm going with the track record of the mystery person always winning these fucking things. So I'm going to go with mystery person, possibly Ruby.
I don't think AEW has a track record for mystery people to win for this sort of one.
Then we're going to have a match, which I don't give a shit about. Mox versus Satoshi Kojimiya. I'm not familiar with him. My knowledge of Japanese wrestling has really gone on the toilet over the years. I'll say Moxley will win, because why have your hometown boy do a job on a pay-per-view to a guy who ain't going to be in the company next week?
I think it's going to be actually a pretty good Moxley style, where it's a lot of slap. Like, it's going to look rough because like he likes that strong style of Japan, but Moxley's going to win because it goes into that whole storyline. He's been trying to get more New Japan talks or conversations going.
You know, the next one listed, we forgot to mention Billy Gunn and his dumbass kids turned on the Big Show. We didn't go into detail about it because we have no idea why, because it made no sense. So I think QT Marshall will defeat Paul White with help from the Gun Club, and maybe we'll find out why the Gun Club hit the Big Show.
I think QT, if it's just Paul White versus the Factory, nothing involving the Gun Club or whatever, I think Paul's going to win, because like if the Gun Club comes out, you tell me you're just going to have Paul White just basically do a one-man battle royale against 30 fucking people. But I think it has to be. That's the only reason why I could think Paul White's going to win. But if not, but yeah, I'm going to stick with Paul White's going to win. The idea that it's going to be just the Factory.
Jericho MJF. I go MJF.
MJF.
I also go, that's when I'm going to poop if I have to.
I don't know why you don't like MJF's matches, but
they're not any good.
I don't think they're bad.
I think his match with Cody was awesome. I'm not a Cody mark. Here's my thing. Jericho, and Kurt Angle said it on his podcast. Here's a plug for you. Not that you need a plug from us, Kurt Angle. Somebody said, "Oh, Kurt Angle, would you come back and wrestle Jericho?" He said, "Absolutely not." He said, "Why do you want to see two old guys wrestle?" He's like, "Us guys our age need to have a young guy in there to do the work so it's good." To me, Jericho, he needs a young guy. He had that with Orange Cassidy. He had it with Moxley. He doesn't have it with MJF. MJF's the best talker they've got in that company. He's probably the best heel in wrestling. He's 26 years old. He can't lead a match yet. I hope they just do the gimmick where it's a bloodbath, a big fight, but a standard match, I really think it's going to be the worst match on the card.
We'll see, but yeah, I agree. MJF's going to win. Hopefully.
Miro's going to win. Kingston might get a couple of close pins when he gets chink in the armor. but Miro will win. I don't think there's a person alive that thinks Kingston's going to win.
I think Miro's going to win. I would like to have a switch, but also I do not want Miro to lose with this gimmick storyline of the chink in the armor.
Young Bucks against the Lucha Brothers in the cage. I think the Lucha Brothers should win.
Lucha Brothers.
I think it's their time to win. I think the Bucks are going to win. I don't want them to. I need to stress that, fans. I don't want them to. I think they're going to win.
I'm going to stick to the fans. The Lucha Brothers are going to win, and they better win.
I hope you're right. I hope I'm wrong. I just, for some reason, think the Bucks. Next, we're going to have Britt Baker, the MD, against Chris Stratlander. I think it'll be a good match. I think it'll probably be Britt's best match so far. I think Britt's going to retain the title, and I hope she retains it clean, which I think she will with the lockjaw.
I hope Britt Baker wins. I like them both, but I think Britt needs a couple more pushes, or at least keep this reign going, because I think she's doing a good job, but also at the same time, like, we need more. Like, we just need more out of her. She has a lot more in the a lot more that can give up. So Britt Baker for sure too.
Match everyone's waited for: CM Punk, Darby Allin. I hope Darby. CM ain't doing a job. I don't think it's going to go my route of a draw. And at the end of the day, I think CM Punk wins.
I'm going to say CM Punk also, but I am going to say I want to say 40% is either interference. I have a 60%, like, if someone gun to your head with these two options, who's winning? CM Punk. But I really think interference is going to happen. Could be the guess, or could be the reveal. It could be the reveal of, like, possibly Daniel Bryan, like we said during the show, or just it could be 2.0. But I think there's going to be interference to keep these two faces clean compared to. But if someone had to say out of these two who's going to win, I'm going to say CM Punk.
Now, Darby. Pac was supposed to fight Andrade. Now, Pac, not an angle. I know people like to think it is. Pac's a dumbass. Pac, once again, which fucked him when the pandemic first started, he went back to England. Okay, yeah. He's got a woman out there? I don't know. His family. Go back to England. And, guess what? There's a Delta variant. They're in fucking lockdown. He can't fly out. That's not an angle, and Tony Khan addressed it. He said, okay, they're going to fight at Dynamite, when this lockdown.
It's going to be a Rampage.
Rampage, okay. Now, Andrade, and I've heard nothing, but on social media, apparently Andrade had teased, which maybe it was just him on his own, an open challenge. Now, they have not built this up. If this happens, I think this would be the time Andrade does the old, I'll fight anyone who wants to fight me. There's your Daniel Bryan, because it's pretty much 99% confirmed that fucker's showing up tomorrow, because they had to move him up from the Arthur Ashe Stadium because of the COVID requirements keep changing. So there's a way to bring him in right then and there. He's coming in during the Punk match, or Andrade issues the open challenge, and there's Daniel Bryan, Bryan Danielson. I'm assuming he'll be over there.
I didn't even know that was going to happen, because that's why the women's Battle Royale is moved from the buy-in to the main event show.
Andrade was just going into business for himself. Andrade, my opinion, overrated as fuck.
I think that's another discussion about Pac. I don't understand where, like, I don't know. Maybe it's the mentality of us being people in our houses, not in the industry, of, like, I would put a little bit more, hey, pay-per-view is in 2 weeks. I'm going to stay in the fucking States because I probably pulled some teeth to get them over here to get back on TV before. So why would you go back when it took you so long to get back onto TV? So, before even this push. Why
would your boss allow you to go? I would be like, dude, you're staying here. I'll put you up in a hotel. whatever.
Yeah, it's
But
all free.
go over there and you fuck me, you're fired because you did it to me last year. I get, because you can always say, well, the circumstances are out of his control. Once again, this is a pandemic. For all we know, by the time this show gets up tonight, we could be in some kind of lockdown. You don't know. It changes hour to hour. You got to be prepared for it.
But yeah, exactly. And also, like, Tony Khan then needs to, if it's, let's say it's Tony, because it's a two-way road. Tony needs to put a little bit of backbone in and say, no, don't leave yet. I'll give you, you want to be I'll come into my home. I'll let you be in my fucking mansion. You know what I mean? Or I'll buy you a fucking hotel in every single spot, or I'll rent you a house.
Yeah.
So you can have your fucking house for this month, whatever. Because, like, they had an interesting thing, but then now it just fizzles out. Like, why? I don't give a fuck about Andrade and Chavo now. This whole I fucked up your driving or your accommodations to get here is now it's all down the fucking pipes. It happens again. It happened with the idea with Adam Page and the pregnancy thing. Hey, congrats, whatever. But the idea of you were pushing this idea and then some shit out of your hands, but also is not out of your hands because you don't want to be a mean or a bad guy or someone who could just be a little stern and say, hey, why are you going to go back to England when it took you half a year to get back onto TV because of it?
Like you said with Adam Page, your wife, when you knock someone up, especially when you're married and the girl isn't springing it on you, you know about when you're going to have your kid. Now, it could have been very easily, Tony, I'm going to have a kid about the time of this. I really want to be up. And Tony's probably like, okay, because I'm going to rewind. 8 months ago, he tells Tony Khan. So let's say 6 months ago. That's plenty of time to do all this. Or what you could do if Tony's like, okay, well, Adam, I understand that. I don't need you on TV. I can record you at your house training if I need to show something. You win your match, and at the pay-per-view, you come and you fight Kenny, you get the belt. We don't need to see you again for a few weeks. You're not working 5 days a week. You can be home with your wife and kid. I just need you to win the match with the Dark Order. I'll have you a few times that, if your wife goes into labor or anything, don't worry about it. We can even just say on TV, no, Adam Page isn't here today. How is this going to affect his match? Kenny Omega's training and he's changing a diaper or something.
Yeah.
Have your money match the pay-per-view. You don't need him every week, But because of all that fuck up, it leads to our main event, Christian Cage against fucking Omega. I don't care what anyone thinks. This would be a good time for Daniel Bryan to come down. I was really hoping Christian would get injured. Christian Cage is going to lose. It might be a really good match. Kenny Omega is not dropping the fucking belt to Christian Cage. I really don't think Kenny Omega is dropping that belt until he fights Adam Page. I think Hangman will be the one that kicks out of the One Wing Angel. That's been the end game since this company opened. Christian Cage is going to lose. A good match or not, Kenny Omega's going to win. Maybe Daniel Bryan goes for some at the end, but no.
I think Kenny's going to win also because Impact's different. Whatever, drop that belt. I think he should have dropped the AAA belt so that for story wise, it makes you think, oh, he's going to drop the belt. No, I think Kenny's going to win. Now the question is, do you think he's going to be clean or dirty?
Dirty. And I think when the Bucks win, which I think the Bucks will win, I don't want them to. I must reiterate that they'll win dirty. And it gets back to my point. I get that they're building heat. They're also making your best wrestlers. Kenny Omega's the best fucking worker they got over there. Probably one of the best in the world, maybe the best in the world. You have him cheat to win every week, he looks weak. Britt Baker is a heel. She don't look weak. Miro don't look weak. Yeah, every time these guys have to do that 80s fucking cheap bullshit, they just look weaker and weaker.
I think Kenny's going to win. It's going to be a clean win, but I think they're going to have the whole little either Caster or the Bucks. Maybe the Bucks come out after losing, maybe. Hopefully, but I think they're going to have Kaz come out and be the elite hunter just to get some of that interference out, whatever. but then Kenny's going to still One Wing Angel to win.
Will we be right? Probably. So we're going to do the recapping the Elite All Out edition. If you're watching this, tune in Monday late afternoon, early evening for the recap show. I want to thank everybody who's been joining us every week. I hope you enjoy the show. Please like, subscribe, tell your friends. And, not a bad week of TV. We got the pay-per-view that the world's waiting to see tomorrow. So we'll let you know how that pay-per-view goes on Monday.
And don't forget, if you guys want to tag us like at Mike Fowler 93 or also at Hardcore Graveyard, right? On Twitter and like have us in your conversations during All Out next tomorrow. Because I'd happily just like reply to you guys about the thing. I'll probably be live tweeting anyway. So come on over and I'll be, thank you guys for even, he even hasn't even said it exactly. First week we did it, 100 views. Awesome. Next week, we've already doubled it. So it's thank you for all you guys for watching, or ladies and everything. Anybody who's watching this, thank you. And don't forget to thumbs up this, and also share it with somebody, or at least, subscribe to the channel. That'd be very appreciated. It helps out
very much. Thanks again. And we'll see you guys, a special episode on Monday.